and welcome. I have been on a bit of a hiatus from uploading, so I'm excited to be back and hopefully more regular with my posts. Today we have a power supply from an original Xbox One that has a stated fault of non-operational. Clearly this thing has seen some better days, but it has some age and most people aren't aiming to keep the power supply so pretty pristine, so it's not bad. I already tested off screen and to no surprise it didn't work, so let's jump ahead with the disassembly. The little feet are a pain that are supposed to pop out, but clearly I tore the rubber off of these things. And then we'll undo the 4 screws holding this unit shut. We'll pop the top off and disconnect the fan. We'll just go ahead and check the fan condition first since it's an old power supply. And this is clearly dirty, but nothing too terrible. Went ahead and cleaned it up first since I was already there. Now to get a better sense of what is going on, we can check this unit with it opened up. Now I strongly recommend you do not try this at home. Power supplies can contain enough oomph to kill or seriously hurt you. Here though, we are looking for some sign of life present on the fan, which does not appear to be the case. Now, these original power supply units know to deliver power to the Xbox when the console shorts the 2 pins together. So I'm just going to simulate that with some metal tweezers, and we should see a white LED and a small PCB and amber ones that turn off. And we only see the white LED for a fraction of a second. Alright, the rest of the PCB can come out, which involves cutting some of the compound. And it looks like we got a little critter hanging out in here. And the shield is soldered in, so we need the iron to get this off. And it looks like some more of the little companions in here. Some of you may have noticed this already, but during disassembly I've seen these capacitors bulging. A sure way to know if your cap is defective is if these tops are bulging out like this. And it's completely unnecessary to check the ohmage on the caps, but just to demonstrate that they're bad. And coming back to the fan for a quick second, placing a voltage across it shows no signs of life. Removing the caps is easy enough. Just gently pull on them while freeing the pins with a soldering iron. Just checking the holes with a thin wire. And these are some nice new caps that are ready to go in. They're polarized, so we'll be sure that and get these seated to be soldered in. And with the wires bent, the caps can be soldered down and the excess can be clipped off. And then a gentle nudging to ensure that they're set. Apparently I forgot to resume recording, but after installing the caps, our issue was not resolved. I began checking resistances throughout the PCB, starting over here because this is where the caps were bad at. I noticed an odd trend of very low resistance across these components, which typically is found in a defective IC in the circuit. The IC in question looks to be this U201 sitting right here, and we can work to get this component from the board. Now I should have put a low melt solder in because I cooked the board a bit here, but the IC is removed. While this is not a death sentence for the PCB, this can definitely kill it, so hopefully that oversight did not ruin things. And when these pins cleaned up, a new IC can go in. And we got the new IC in, and the corner pads are larger, so they have extra solder. In testing this, we can see that not only is the PCB okay from the excess heat, but the new IC and capacitors have taken well to reestablishing functionality. For the fan, I simply took a known good one with the missing cables and soldered it over to the connection from the defective fan. So in order to condense the video, I'll speed through this and have the main assembly playing in the corner. With some voltage applied, we can see that the fan is actually working correctly and ready to go back in the unit. And to replace the torn feet, I had a roll of generic rubber feet laying around that happened to fit nicely with some convincing. With that, this has been the repair of a defective original Xbox One power supply. I can't say a repair like this makes more financial sense than, say, purchasing a generic one on eBay. However, if you're like me and want to minimize e-waste, or like the owner of this power supply and wanted to keep the original one with the Xbox they purchased it with, then I'm sure you can understand doing this. Either way, I hope you enjoyed the content and will join me on the next one.